Hi, I'm Jennifer Emery, and today I want to talk about people pleasing and how you can overcome it. So firstly, my question to you is this: are you a people pleaser? Have a think about that. I was for a long time, and it can seriously impact your life. It really did impact my life. And the thing is, people pleasing is an awful habit, and I had it. It basically because people pleasing takes your focus off what you can control and puts the focus onto what you can't control, which is someone else's happiness and their thoughts. So here's a perfect example I want to so I can get my point across. If you buy your husband or your partner some flowers and they come home to tell you they've just got a pay rise in work, so the flowers you give them are just going to add to the happiness of the day, and you're going to have a wonderful evening as a result of it. However, if you buy your husband or your partner some flowers and they come home from work and tell you that they've just lost their job, they may look at the flowers and give it a bit of a quick smile just to acknowledge them, and then quickly, go back to sulking because they've just lost their job, or worse, they may snap at you, they may yell, there's no point, what are these flowers going to do? They're not going to help me, I've just lost my job. I'm not a florist, that type of thing. This is a perfect example of why people pleasing doesn't work 100% of the time. So you're never going to be able to predict what kind of mood anyone is going to be in all the time, simply because things will always happen outside of our control. So basically, your happiness or misery is in the other person's hands. That's what you're doing. It puts you in a very, very vulnerable position. Have you heard of, like the people pleasing quadrant? I don't know whether you have. I'll put it here, which basically means, there are 4 different situations where you might find yourself in that you're going to need to develop strategies to combat this people-pleasing tendency that you may have, and also like what I had. The 4 situations, I want to go through them now. So the first one we're looking at quadrant 1. So we're dealing with the people, you like or you love, and also those people who also like or love you in return. So this first quadrant it's easiest to manage because, at least you genuinely love the person you're dealing with and they love you too. However, remember there's an example that we used above about, your husband or your partner losing their job. It doesn't matter how much you like or love someone, or how much they like or love you. Bad things happen sometimes. From time to time things will happen, and we'll all say things that we don't mean. The trick here though is not to take the people that you care about personally and what they say and feel responsible for fixing them. Let the person you like, and you love, let them be hurt, let them be angry and upset, but it doesn't have to affect your happiness. Although you can sympathise with the person, with your partner, with your husband, and let them know you'll be there for them if they want to talk. This person cares about you and they don't want to drag you down just because they're having a bad day. So just give them a bit of space and let them sort things out and let the head round everything. Spend your energy and focus more on productive things, such as go for a jog, do some studying or read a book. If you're studying for a test, or read a book, or something that's of interest to you. People pleasing there is really annoying to people who like or love you already. They don't expect you to make everything better for them. They just need some time to get over whatever's happened. Then we've got on to quadrant number 2. So we're dealing with the people that you like or love when those people don't like or love you in return. So the second one is often, the most painful quadrant to come to terms with, regardless, if it's about a friend or a family member or, your partner, boyfriend. Once in a while, we can like or even love someone who doesn't like or love us in return. We do everything in our power to be good enough and supportive enough and encouraging enough, kind enough, whatever enough. But somehow it is just never enough, and it will never be. So, once in a while, these people we like or love are nice to us out of pity or guilt or remorse, or because we're fulfilling some kind of need for them that they don't want to give up. But don't make the mistake that their temporary kindness is a genuine concern, because basically these people don't like or love you at all. It could be for a variety of reasons, but those reasons don't necessarily have anything to do with you. They may do, but they don't necessarily have anything to do. The trick here is for getting over the people pleasing thing is to realise what quadrant these people belong in, and come to terms with the fact that, they may not like or love you. On the other hand, realize that there's millions of people out there who, love you. Lots of people out there that love you, and realize that, it may be that you're just wasting time with people pleasing, especially in this quadrant, because it doesn't matter what you do, it just might not be good enough for them. So move on to someone who's going to like you, love you, appreciate you for who you are. Then we'll take it on to sort of quadrant 3. So dealing with the people you don't like or love when those people like and love you. Most of the people pleasing in this quadrant comes out of guilt or pity or personal gain. Although I must admit, it's really hard not to like someone who likes you. But you may be able to sort of definitely see that the other person likes or loves you way more than you like or love them. So I suppose, how do you handle the situations when it comes to like this quadrant 3? So I'll give you an example. Someone asks you out on a date, they've got a crush on you. Unfortunately though, you don't feel the same way. You did enjoy the fact that they gave you chocolates and flowers and you got the attention, but this would be seen as sort of leading them on, wouldn't it? So the best thing in this sort of situation is to politely tell them that, you're no longer going to accept any gifts from them because you're not interested in dating anyone at the moment. But I suppose the moral of this particular story is that, that man or that woman deserved to find someone who liked and loved them. And it'd be sort of selfish for you to stand in the way of that by leading them on. We've then got quadrant 4, which is dealing with the people you don't like when they don't like you either. A person will rarely find themselves in this quadrant sort of when it comes to sort of their personal life, unless it's got to do with like an ex-partner, an ex-boyfriend, step-families. Otherwise you can usually just get up and walk away, which is why sort of this 4th one is reserved mostly, I'd say, for the workplace. People pleasing in this quadrant basically, reflects sort of suppressed feelings and putting up with a lot of emotional and mental and potentially verbal abuse. It can be because you're afraid of losing your job, or because you're afraid, of that person themselves and what they might do. In situations like this, it's always best to get a third party involved, because, for one reason or another, you're forced to deal with this person and they're forced to deal with you. Neither one of you are going to be able to sort of compromise about like a reasonable solution on your own, because both of you don't really care what's in the other's best interest. There needs to be when it comes like this, there needs to be a bit of a mediator who can look at the situation objectively and on neutral ground and come up with a sort of a reasonable solution. So don't be afraid to be the bigger person in this situation and ask for outside help. It's the only way the conflict's likely to be resolved. So in matters sort of dealing with the family, it may be best to go to counselling or join a support group, or bring a person from the outside into the situation to sort of help out. But remember, your goals to sort of conserve energy and focus on how you can change, I suppose, things that are in your control and make them sort of head in a positive direction. So be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. If everyone else wants to wallow in their misery and problems, you can let them just do that, but you can choose to do something different. So when you sort of eliminate people pleasing from your life for good, it's always a great to have sort of the awareness that you've got 1 in 4 shot of really hitting it off with someone special. In this case, you're wondering, that one shot lies within sort of people in quadrant number 1. Yeah. So if you go into each situation expecting the best but prepared for the worst, you'll always come out on top. Most importantly though, is be yourself. There's no point going through life pretending to think and feel a certain way just to please other people. Besides that, you won't have the opportunity to sort of attract the right people into your life when you do that. The right people who'd really like to get to know you, and love the person that you truly are. And just a sort of final tip I'd like to share with you is there are 3 types of people in the world. There are the givers and there are takers. But once in a while, you'll be fortunate enough to find a person who's capable of basically doing both. So I hope this encourages you to be a person who can do both. I hope this quadrant helps you. And if you've got any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. And I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.